Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Starmade. I'm not yet sure exactly what we are going to do. Maybe we're gonna build some more on the mothership right here. I just know one thing, that I have been receiving complaints about the layout of my core at the moment. It looks like my ship is going to snap into 2 bits anytime, even though I think in Starmade that is not actually possible, but we want to keep the immersion and that is why we are going to build a core room in the first few minutes of this video. Okay, let's start maybe by layouting some of the core room the way we want to have it. I took with me some black and grey hull as per usual, some white for, to change it up a little bit, and also ice crystals. Now let's see, maybe I should have thought about this a little bit sooner, because it would be cool to like pillar up the core and have it somewhat in the center of the core room, but we can still do that. We just have to, I don't know, make like a hallway right here and a little bit of a bigger room. Now I want the shapes to be rather specific in this case. Maybe let's see, is there something new in the build helper? Not really, that's not really going to help us. Yeah, guys, I think we have to come up with our own shapes. I don't want any round shapes for this one. I also don't want it to be a cube or a rectangle. Let's maybe mark the size of the hallway. Okay, so this core should be the center. So if we made a little staircase up here, and we will have to remove a bunch of stuff, and we kind of mirrored it on the other side. Right, and then we somewhat probably should have placed another plane. Let's actually do that. We're gonna set this plane right here, and we're gonna do the same thing right here as we did on the top. Yeah, there we go, X marks the spot. Okay, so now theoretically we can get rid of everything that is or was a pathway. And now, considering that we are probably going to walk on top of this level, there should be a minor staircase down, just a few blocks, so that we can go beneath the core. Right, so after a long and harsh debate, I came up with something like this. It's going to be a little staircase, which hopefully is going to be enough for me to get down, have a look at the core, and also get up again. We obviously have to remove that storage, but what you can do? So yeah, I guess we could go for something like that. That could be like the Adam's apple. Do you also say that? Adam's apple? Let me know if you know what that actually is. Anyhow, we need a bunch of black standard armor in order to wedge stuff up here and check out if we can still go down. I would like to have it somewhat like this, and the top row is going to be ice crystals. Or another type of light source, I actually don't really care. Maybe we shouldn't overdo it with the light crystals, but they're just so beautiful. Anyhow, we need to fill this up. And we also want to do it on the other side. No, that was wrong. We need some right here. Yeah, there we go. I mean, the bottom and the top at the moment is exposed. That would, of course, also belong to the interior eventually. Now, I'm not sure. Is this like a not majestic enough core room? I could imagine that you guys would think that. Though a core room, I mean, it's just a core room. The only thing that goes in a core room really is the core. Most of the stuff will go into the bridge, which is rather large, so we will have plenty of room to play around with, but this right here, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm gonna expand it. I might expand it, we could just take this piece, maybe we can actually paste it out or somewhat. Can we do a copy of something? Yeah, we can pick an area. Let's see if we can manage to do that. Oh yes, look, there we go. We can take this whole piece here. Now we have a copy of it, so that is good. We can now also remove this. There we go. And now I basically want to paste. Ah, that's great. So if we pasted it like so, would that be better? That would give us a lot more room, wouldn't it? Yeah, I actually think that will do it. Let's place it. Great. Oh yes, that's much better. I'm actually glad I did that. Now we only have to make sure there is some kind of a smooth transition up to here. Yeah. Where's the sun? It's really dark. Yeah, so maybe we're gonna continue the ice crystal pattern anyways, at least to give us some kind of a light source. This is horrible to work in the darkness. This is, by the way, the one thing I hate most about games. Darkness and weather effects. I mean, it is really nice, don't get me wrong. I'm also not necessarily scared, but I just hate it if you cannot see stuff. I mean, it's annoying enough in real life. I don't really need that in games. I'm really a visual type of guy and I'm so dependent on what my eyes see. So I guess I'm also a lot of the time deceived as the eyes are playing tricks on you. At least I believe it's the sense that plays the most tricks on you. I'm not really sure. If you know, let me know in the comments. Okay, I guess we're still gonna add a bunch of armor pieces right here, but this will actually look a little bit weird. Though it might give a nice effect to have like these sharp corners. But yeah, we should now think about closing off this hallway, and I want to do this potentially like so. Can you see anything? I can't see shit. Okay, I guess we're gonna do something around these lines. Do we need more lights? Not necessarily, right. Okay, so we'll have to make the staircase one further up and go somewhat like this. Yeah, that seems to be fine. And we're gonna finish closing this off all the way up to here. This hallway might actually still be too thin in relation to the whole freaking mothership. We're working on such a small part of the mothership at the moment. Also, I have been getting warnings about using too many of those lights. Don't worry, not everything is gonna be covered in the neon effect. It's just gonna be a lot of these parts right here and maybe just at a bunch of corners. Also, the wings are not finished yet. These are basically only the struts that will help me kind of shape this out and make a really nice and interesting wing. The thing is, guys, I really don't know how this ship will turn out. I just know that we have to keep on building and building. Okay, so what if we continued the ice crystal line in a straight manner? That might actually give a nice effect. And I'm not sure if I should go down again or just, you know, leave the hallway as is. Yeah, let's try to leave it at this height, or at least this portion of the corridor is gonna be higher than this one right here. So I might think about expanding here as well. But you know, those are fine-tuning adjustments. For right now, we just need to get the basic foundation going. Okay, so how about that? That actually doesn't look too shabby. I should finish smoothing off the corners so it gives off a better impression. This will make it look much better from afar. Yeah, look at that. What do you think about that? Much better already, much better. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom. Yep, and there we go, we nailed it! Well, not really, but it is better than it was before, that is for sure. So looking at this, I believe we are going to have like struts going in a diagonal manner onto the bridge, and then it will also look a lot more stable. But that is actually pretty cool. So protect the core, Jack. Let's see what else we can do. Alright guys, I know just what we are going to do right now, and that is some Starmade logic. Now this rayish looking thing is really awesome, but I also would like to have some effect on it. One of which will be some kind of a lighting strip which will be revealed in a futuristic fashion. I have no idea what I'm talking about, man. But anyhow, the basic intention is that we have maybe a strip of, I don't know, 3 ice crystals going all the way across the ray, and it's going to be covered in those plex doors. Then we are going to have in a regular intervals the plex doors disappear, maybe 2 at a time, and some of the crystals will be revealed along the way. So you get the basic idea. Now, in order to accomplish this really, we will have to install some kind of a clock first. Now, where should we add the clock? I believe it would be a wise decision to actually do that in the bridge, because it is going to be a feature which we can enable and disable, because maybe sometimes we will experience frame rate issues if we have too many features activated at once. So I don't know, this clock is gonna be easy to actually move around. I'm just gonna have it somewhere on the bridge for the time being. I think right here would be a good idea. So what do we need in order to create a clock? It is actually pretty simple. We are going to need a activation module. Maybe let's place it right here, and this thing is basically the mechanism that lets me enable and disable it. Next up, we are going to need a OR signal, which is hooked up to this activation switch. So this OR signal can either give an impulse from this activation switch, or it will be able to give an impulse from yet another module. But first of all, I think we're going to need a NOT signal in order to invert the whole thing. I'm not yet sure about this, but we will see in just a second. And now we're gonna hook up a bunch of delay signals, just like this. So now each module is hooked up in a row and is activating the next module all the way up to here, and this final delay will then activate the final activation module, and this activation module will basically start the chain of plex doors disappearing up here. But first of all, we need to check whether or not that is working, so let's maybe activate and deactivate it. Oh yeah, that seems to be alright. I also forgot this activation module needs to, of course, also activate the OR signal. So as long as we have this thing enabled, the whole circle will come to a halt because this OR signal is already activated. But when I disable it, the signal will go through and it will basically do a loop. And you can see this block being toggled on and off just like that. And I believe this will be enough in order to start our basic loop. Anyways, we will figure out in a second. I'm gonna select this guy right here and we are gonna check up here what we have to do. I think what we should do is actually start placing modules right here. Oh no, this actually gives out a connection that is rather bad. Let's see, where does this connection go through? Yeah, we can see it slightly here, and that is not good. But at least it's working, so that's comforting. But I definitely see the problem in this. I really need this activation module to be at this location so that I can start evenly hooking them up with the different modules. So I might remove the clock after all, but I'm not gonna do that off camera. We can just start hooking things up right now. So all we need is to select this guy and hook it up with a delay signal. Then we're gonna select this one and hook it up with another activation module, and we're just gonna continue all the way up to, I don't know, as many materials as we have, I guess. And in order to speed things a little bit up, I'm just going to place the modules separately and then I'm gonna hook them up going through a second time. Okay, awesome. I hooked them all up. The loop is already in full progress. The last guy right here, the last delay, of course, we have to hook up to the first one again. Or no, we actually don't have to do that because the loop is running from a clock and not from itself, actually. But nevertheless, there is still a lot of hooking up to do in this episode. I'm afraid, but we can start by placing our first bunch of modules. The plex doors, to be exact. Okay, let's see. We need to kind of fill this up with our ice crystals. I sincerely hope we have enough for the whole contraption. I mean, I don't only want to do this on the top, I also want to do it on the sides and at the bottom. So this effect will be visible from all sides. There we go. I think that is already almost enough, yeah. And now we're gonna go ahead and place our plex doors. Oh, we need to make sure that we don't have it hooked up to anything. We're gonna do this all by hand, actually. Okay, let's see. I think for this we could set at least this symmetry plane right there. Yeah, I think for this episode I'm just going to do it on the top, just to make sure that we have enough items. I might have to purchase a whole lot more, but nevertheless we can place the plex doors on top of here, and we also want to cover up the top thing right there, so none of the crystals are visible. And now it's time to start hooking up stuff. So I guess this one is going to be responsible for this row. There we go. All of these crystals should disappear. Or maybe actually only the top ones. And I think we're gonna do 2 rows at a time. So 2 rows at a time will not be visible, and it will hopefully look like an effect like it's moving forwards. But yeah, that's just the dream of a foolish boy. Let's select the second one and we are gonna hook up this row and the one next to it. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh that's gonna be awesome. Okay, maybe let me just hook up 5 or 6 or so and I'll be right back. Of course guys, I couldn't wait and I finished the whole strip that we have placed so far, and for my taste it is a little bit of a too frequent interval, so maybe we'll have to add a bunch more delays to our clock before this really runs smoothly. But all in all, I have to say it is the exact effect that I wanted to achieve actually, which is awesome. So yeah, and imagine we now have a whole bunch of those guys and we can simply activate or deactivate the movement of it by clicking this block right here, and now the movement should stop. Yeah, from the looks of it, it will stop with all of them or all the Plex doors being deactivated. Interesting, that is actually cool to me. That's crazy, isn't that great? Isn't that just freaking great? So maybe now that we have it deactivated, we should think about adding a delay. So let's say we're gonna go with 2 more delays. So this delay shouldn't link into here, but it should link upwards, and this one should link upwards as well, but this one will activate this activation block. So now we added 2 more delays to the whole thing. Let's see how it looks when we activate it. Okay, so one of the blocks is coming along, so that means we have a lot more Plex storages in one group. I like that a lot more. Maybe we go with even more delays. I think those guys could even be a little bit longer. But yeah, what do you think? Isn't that just freaking great? I like the whole concept of it. It makes it look much more futuristic and all fancy. The only thing is that we will have to do a lot of hooking up, or actually I will have to do a lot of hooking up. I mean, you have to connect like each block individually, which is a freaking pain in the butt, but it will be definitely worth it, especially because we can easily just adapt the delay. We don't have to care about the basic framework, all the changes we can do within a single tiny module. But well, anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this little episode. We did some building over there and we also had some functionality once again. I didn't do anything with logic for quite a while. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, have a great time, don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'm going to catch you the next time. Bye bye.